Chapter 6, Mishnah 4. Having completed its discussion of damage caused by animals, the Mishnah turns to the laws of damage caused by fire. If someone sent a source of fire, e.g. a hot coal, in the hands of a deaf-mute, an insane person, or a minor who fanned it into a fire and burned another person's property with it, the one who sent the source of the fire is not obligated to pay under the laws of man, since he did not make the fire. But he is obligated to pay under the laws of heaven, because he was an indirect cause of the damage. If he sent it in the hands of a competent person who burned another person's property with it, the competent person is obligated to pay for the damage, even under the laws of man, and the one who sent it is completely exempt, even under the laws of heaven. The Mishnah determines who is liable when a number of people contributed to making a fire. If one person brought a flame and one person brought wood and put it on the flame, thus creating a fire that could spread and do damage, the one who brought the wood is obligated to pay for any damage done by the fire, because he was the one who made it capable of doing damage. The one who brought the flame, however, is exempt from payment, since his flame on its own would not have done any harm. In the opposite case, where one person brought wood and one person brought a flame and set the wood alight, the one who brought the flame is certainly obligated to pay for any damage done by the fire, since he alone created it, while the one who brought the wood is exempt. However, in either of the previous cases, if the flame did not set the wood alight, and then another person then came and blew it into a fire that could do damage, the one who blew it is obligated to pay, and the others are exempt. If the damaging fire was created only because an unusually strong wind blew it, all three of them are exempt. Other laws about damage caused by fire. If someone sent a fire, that is, he lit a fire within his own premises, and it spread to someone else's property, where it consumed wood, blackened stones, or scorched the earth, he is obligated to pay damages, because it is stated in Exodus chapter 22, verse 5, "If a fire shall go forth and find thorns, and a stack of grain or the standing grain or the field is consumed, the one who lit the blaze shall surely pay." By adding the word field, the verse teaches that one must pay even for stones that were blackened or earth that was scorched. The Mishnah discusses the laws regarding barriers that block fire. If someone lit a pile of wood in his own premises, and the fire passed over a stone wall that is 4 amos higher than the pile of wood, or it crossed a public road that is at least 16 amos wide, or it crossed a river that is at least 8 amos wide, the one who created the fire is not obligated to pay for any damage caused by the fire, because these barriers are usually enough to prevent the fire from spreading. According to the previous Tana, a road or any similar strip of land is an effective barrier if it is 16 amos wide. The Mishnah teaches that this is only one of several opinions. If someone lights a fire within his own property, how far will the fire go? That is, how far must he distance his fire from neighboring property to prevent it from spreading into that property? Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah says, "We view him as though he were in the center of a base core. That is, if half a base core, which has a width of 137 amos, separates the fire from the surrounding properties, he is not obligated to pay for any damage the fire does there." Rabbi Eliezer says, "The required distance is 16 amos, like the minimum width of a public road, as the Mishnah stated above." Rabbi Akiva says, "The required distance is 50 amos." Rabbi Shimon says, "The Torah states in Exodus chapter 2, verse 5, 'The one who ignited the fire shall pay.' By stating the fire, the verse implies that it all depends on the fire. Thus, the required distance must be determined on a case-by-case basis, depending on the fire's size."